What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Welcome, everybody. Today's Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. This is the AMC Algo Exposed Daily Update video. Let's dig in a little bit here. I'm going to show both bearish and bullish macro fractals. Try to keep it quick. I'm running behind. I was in Discord again dealing with stuff, so I apologize I didn't get this out earlier. So let's dig into it. I'll shut up and get to what you want to hear. All right, today AMC was down, I believe, at its peak around 14%. It finished the day down 8.41%, trading at $18.84. And right now it's down just under 0.5%, trading at 18.76. It gapped down this morning in pre-market. It followed suit when market opened. It did break the macro. Confluence of support and went right where I said it would go if that were to happen, which would be the descending wedge, the macro descending wedge that we've been in since May. Support. As we've already established that as a support with, I believe, two confirmed touch points on that descending support. It bounced there. We got the relief bounce. It did reject at $19, and it created a box top, and it dissolved into after hours as expected. The box top method played out perfectly today. We were able to utilize that in the live stream today repeatedly. For those of you that are just seeing that new, there is a video with box tops in the title of the video. Go check that out. It will change everything. Trust me. You guys and gals were in the live stream today. I hope you were, when a lot of the people in the live stream, I guess, talked about their experiences with the box top and what it is that they see with it for you. So I hope that's intrigued you enough to go check that out. I really do think it's game changing. It is. There's no doubt about it. So anyways, that worked out throughout the day on the micro time frame, and we used that to our advantage today to kind of know where this was going, as well as using the ability to look outside the box and find a bearish, let's go, John, welcome to Xtreme Gainz, unplanned, to use a bearish fractal in yesterday's video for a bearish outlook, right? Something that I really haven't done. Again, we talked about this back, I don't know, weeks ago when I was asked about the $7 area. I said if we got down here and the confluence broke, and then we were down here by the macro descending wedge or by the gap fill, that would be something I would then address, and there was no weight on it back then. Looking at charts and everything prior to yesterday, I saw a need for a bearish outlook. So I found the comparative fractal that I felt not only are we replicating from another perspective that I've explained to you with the 7-year to 7-month descending wedge fractals repeating themselves, being compressed, all that stuff. Again, all in videos that I've already put out for you guys to go check out. Please do so for context. But I've been using that December 2020 fractal to, I guess, replicate, or what I'm using as what we may be replicating now in that theory. And I pulled the full fractal portion from the double bottom up to its last box top prior to the drop down. And I pulled that whole thing yesterday, and I made a video on it. I know it ruffled a bunch of feathers, and it hurt a lot of butts. Unfortunately, that's what I'm here, not hurt butts, but what I'm here to do is to prepare myself for everything. So I'm surprised by nothing with this shithole market that I'm a part of. And in the process of doing so, if that can provide you with any value by me doing that, then it's a win-win. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So with that being said, I looked at this fractal. I pulled the whole thing. I transposed it in yesterday's video and talked about its potential downside, the relevant levels, what all they meant, yada, yada, yada. Again, go check that video out if you need more context than that. However, this is the fractal and how it looks when overlaid onto the current movements of the 4-hour chart. Excuse me. Let's zoom in real quick and let me show you this on the interior movements and what it is suggesting. This here, as of yesterday, suggested a downside move, which we got today. It suggested a touch of the descending, macro descending wedge, which we got today. And now it's suggesting a potential, I don't know if this is a breakdown into the gap fill. Again, this is not candle for candle, but you want to have a generalized perspective of all this. Is what I do. I like to have a generalized perspective of all this. So this does look to me like it could potentially indicate a move to the gap fill and bounce up, or we've already got it, and the next move is an upside move. However, the short term, but the generalized perspective of the short term is whether it breaks down to the gap fill or not, or it bounces here. The next overall short term move in this scenario, if it plays out, is an upside move. So I will be looking for confirmation, validation, and or invalidation in any way that I can find to either continue to roll this in to my preparation or to roll it out of my preparation. So that's what that looks like now. Before I get rid of this and go into the bullish macro scenarios, what I want to do is show you the side-by-side of this exact fractal that I pulled and from where I pulled it from, side by side for you to see in their entirety, so you can see the similarities in both of them. And there they are right there. And again, I'd have to move this if this were to play out, right? This would all come down here like this. You have it here, 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 break down, curl up, and then down in for the double before the move back up. Okay? That's the side by side. This is where I pulled it from. Again, this is the, this is the 7-year, there's more back here, but the 7-year descending wedge. This here is potentially the 7-month descending wedge that I've been up here. That I've been using for fractal comparison when looking at this. I'm going to zoom out so you can see this too. Okay, that's both of them side by side. And I'm trying to still determine whether we're going to finish off in here or whether we're coming down here. But that's the bearish outlook with using that. Okay? Now, oh, shoot. The bullish outlook for both of these potentially. Again, I'm using one of is the same macro double from this, not this one, from the same fractal from December 2020, but just using the double bottom part of it as if this whole move has played out already to the downside. And if this was our bottom, how that would look by using this. This is something that I've used repeatedly. And I'm going to line the left-hand side of this up to the bottoms. And, well, let me give you the macro. And let me get this out of the way. There's the macro perspective of that. Without the continued downside to get down here if this was the bottom. Let's zoom in on that and see what would validate or invalidate and what my outlook on this would be. You can see here the movements and how they match up with it being here. In my opinion, this one here is very close to invalidating itself due to this move. Again, it's not a candle for candle situation. However, what I've experienced in the past is wanting to see the generalized macro perspective of everything and the movements when comparing these fractals. And this one in no way shows itself with this curl to the downside, right? We have even double bottoms and then the parabolic move up. Doesn't mean it's off the table just quite yet, almost, not quite yet, but this one here, for it to continue to be valid in my mind, would need to see a very, very strong move to the upside tomorrow, invalidating this downside move, almost as if a liquidity rake has happened and we are pushing back up to get into this parabolic move up. So that's what I'll be looking at for validation or invalidation on that macro fractal. The second macro fractal, and the last one, oh, I put it down there, that I've been using comes from another portion of my macro theory that I've named Big Brother, Little Brother. Again, go look for those videos. It'll put it all into context. However, it is pulling the double-double fractal from this fractal 2 descending wedges ago. As it's repeating itself, this Big Brother movement is up here, and it happened again here, and the same thing happened up here. This is the Big Brother movement. I showed that in the video. I transposed this on this to show you the Big Brother, Little Brother scenario, but they're happening in alternating fashion, and I pulled this from that one, and we've been looking at that repeatedly as well. So let's take a look at that and see what it may indicate. Again, I'm going to line the left-hand side of the bottoms up, give you a macro view of what this fractal looks like. All right, a little off up here, a little not on point as far as that curl up, but as I zoom in here, you'll see the rest of these are pretty much on point for the most part, and in my opinion, a little better than the other one from 2020, to be honest. And again, just my opinion. You can see here how these movements match up a little more. Again, I don't know if this needs pulled over to show itself as this bottom here. Let's try that real quick while I have it here. As I'm reading, and I caught the shield comment out of the corner of my eye on my other computer here. Right, again, I don't know if that's portraying itself as this bottom or not. I think it almost does. I did have it moved in, but we'll look at it both ways. So let's look at it this way first, right? If this is portraying itself as that, it does indicate the move to the downside here that we got today as well, like the bearish scenario, excuse me again, and a bounce off the descending wedge, the macro descending wedge support. Again, this, if it were here, as far as the stretching of this, it would indicate a strong move to the upside. I believe tomorrow would be the initiation of that move, just like the other bullish scenario as well. So far, these both bullish are suggesting a strong move to the upside. Okay, now let's move this a little bit to the left like I just had it. Actually, I am gonna stretch it back in. Give me 1 second. Stretch that back into there. Pull that bottom down to even. There we go. And zoom back in. If it were not to be yanked out like that, and this was indicating the wick down bottoms here, surrounding that, and this was that, right? It does indicate almost a touchdown to here off of the descending support, and again indicates a strong bullish move to the upside. I've talked about in all of these scenarios how the relevant levels that have already been portrayed on this from a repeating macro descending wedge fractal, right, the yellow, and then the interior descending wedge fractals, how they indicate these levels that are already put onto my chart, and how once these transposed other fractals, the comparative transposed fractals, come on here, how it validates those levels and makes them relevant simultaneously while being an overlay that's mocking the current price action is something, again, I think is part of what goes into me looking at these and continue looking at these, is seeing that they validate these levels, like where it rejects right here off of the descending wedge resistance. It retests it, it breaks out of both, comes back and retests the resistance as support before continuing its upside move. Same here, the bounce off of the descending support, the bounce off the descending support, the bounce off the it just makes sense when those levels become relevant when you're putting these transposed on as well. It just gives another little indicator to look at. I think it just justifies looking at them and discussing them and thinking about them. So that's that one. So in both bullish scenarios, it is indicating a potential strong move to the upside. And one last time, I want to look at the bearish because I forgot, to be honest with you. And then I'm going to get you out of here. One last time for this bearish, what its indication is. Right there. Okay, again, I don't know if this belongs right on there for a bounce. If it does, that's a full bullish move up. Or if it belongs here and we get a short-term move down followed by the bullish move up. But either way, I think we're looking at, that's right, we're looking at the overall generalized perspective of the next short-term movements on all three to be a bullish move. I don't have any other comparative fractals that I'm using at this time. So if we do continue to the downside tomorrow, I would guess I would just continue to use this one at that point, right? It may have to be moved down and stretched up a little further. That's something I would look at if that were to happen. Again, I went over from a technical standpoint, what it is that I'm looking at if that were to happen, and we'll deal with that tomorrow if that were to happen. And we know what we're looking for gap fill and the bounce from there, and what the macro, and let's say that were to break itself down here, that would indicate a bounce at some point here, I believe, probably at the bottom of the gap fill. So something to keep my eyes on and that I will be watching going into tomorrow. So that is, in a nutshell, the macro bullish and the macro bearish comparative fractals and outlooks going into tomorrow, where we started today, where we ended today, and where we're at right now currently in after hours trading. So that'll pretty much do it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing published and out to you guys. Took me a minute to get it going. I apologize. It's a little bit late, later than I wanted to put it out, but nonetheless, here it is. So do me a favor, like the video on your way out. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment on the video, even if it's to say hello. Let me know you watched it. It does help the analytics. It does help YouTube push this out to more people like us that are retail investors, and especially retail investors that are involved in the AMC play. So I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. If this is one of the first videos you're watching of mine, I live stream Monday through Friday, market open to market close. Come by, check it out. It's a good time. For all of you that were in there today, for all the new ones, thanks for coming by. I hope to see you again tomorrow. For the rest of you and everybody else, I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream at 9 a.m. I open it up at 9 a.m., so I will see you all there. And that's it. Enjoy your all's night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow morning. Later.